From NATO's Supreme Headquarters, Allied Powers Europe, in Mons, Belgium, I'm General Tod Wolters. For the last year, I've had the honor and privilege to serve as the commander, United States European Command, and as NATO's Supreme Allied Commander Europe, a position first held by General Dwight David Eisenhower 7 decades ago. Between 1939 and 1945, the Second World War raged across Europe, the Pacific, and North Africa. Its scale was never seen before, never ever in human history. After more than 5 years of conflict, the war, which had decimated families, towns, and cities, came to an end via an unconditional surrender on May 8, 1945. 75 years ago today. Victory in World War II remains a historical reminder of what the dedicated resolve of like-minded allies, united in common purpose and shared values, can accomplish. On this monumental day in May 1945, millions around the globe celebrated. In iconic cities and idyllic towns, people allowed themselves a short period of rejoice. This period was brief as citizens knew it was a world war, only half won. Citizens began to take stock of the daunting task to rebuild what war and tyranny had poisoned and shattered. Our military mission did not stop on VE Day. The United States First Army began redeploying for possible action in the Pacific, where the war would continue through the summer of 1945. On the ground, in what was then Czechoslovakia, the United States Third Army continued their advance to join Soviet forces in the north and east. Other land forces conducted patrols and processed surrendering troops throughout Germany, Western Austria, and northern Italy. In the skies above, the U.S. 8th Air Force continued to airdrop food and supplies to Dutch citizens in Amsterdam and Utrecht as part of Operation Chowhound. Across southern Europe, the U.S. 12th Air Force conducted reconnaissance, supply, and evacuation missions. The United States 9th Air Force flew show-of-force patrols in eastern Germany. At sea, our maritime forces secured and operated the vital transatlantic link between the massively mobilized industrial base in the U.S. with Europe. After the war, the bonds and shared values which conquered tyranny were central to the birth of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. For generations, the solidarity of NATO allies and our ironclad commitment to one another has delivered and maintains an unprecedented period of relative peace in the Euro-Atlantic. Today, the men and women of our armed forces continue to defend our homeland forward. They remain steadfast and vigilant, standing together with a tremendous set of allies and partners. Day in and day out, their deterrence and defense activities preserve peace for the 1 billion citizens living in the Euro-Atlantic area. While the character of war has changed over the last 75 years, and battle has expanded in other domains, the courage and resolve of our service members who fought in World War II transcend time and space. On this milestone anniversary of VE Day, we remember all who resisted behind enemy lines, those who worked tirelessly on farms and factories to supply and equip the war effort, who fought on land, sea, and in the air, those who gave everything for who and what they loved. We also reflect on the horrors of World War II, the Holocaust, the tremendous destruction, the millions of lives lost, all solemn reminders of the importance of preserving peace. To our World War II heroes, we are blessed to have watching. The men and women of U.S. European Command and all of NATO's allied command operations salute you. Our nation and the world will forever be in your debt. In these uncertain times, as ever, we are eternally inspired by your grit, selfless service, and sacrifices in defense of freedom, democracy, and one another. Thank you, and may God bless you all.